Okay, welcome to another very special Bear Tiger podcast. We've got a special guest, but first of all, he is special, but he's our special boy. Josh White, how are you, mate?
How you doing, mate? All good?
What's been happening?
Not much, mate. Coaching today. Now I'm sitting down with you boys, chilling out.
Coaching, ripping it. And we have got the most recent Challenge Tour event champion, Todd Clements. Welcome.
Cheers, boys. Yeah, glad to be on. Looking forward to it.
Toppy.
You've made some time for us. Had a lovely day at Wentworth today, is that right?
Yeah, it was lovely, actually. Glorious. You know what I mean? What weeks off are about.
Golf in the sun.
Said it was easy off the yellows. Would you shoot, mate?
Yeah, I think it was about 8 under. Like
Did you actually?
yeah, I did, yeah.
Is he all right?
I know, he's on the roll.
Have a word.
I only won a tenner.
Profit,
Yeah.
mate.
It is, yeah.
Profit. Well, that's good. Well, congratulations on your 8 under at Wentworth.
Yeah.
Off the yellow, around the West Course. How's it looking, by the way?
To be fair, I was actually really impressed. Like, the rough's up, like, obviously 4 weeks to go. And then the greens are just
And the pins were really tough and it was windy. And
Yeah, like, I couldn't believe it. 2 from the edge. That was nice.
Oh, good, mate. So thanks for coming on. We're going to talk about your win. So what was it? Which Challenge Tour event was it? Tell us.
Yeah, Irish Challenge. So
You got good form in Ireland, don't you?
Yeah, to be fair, that country's been good to me. I've got a third and a win, so
Nice.
hopefully you can keep that going.
You're back there next week as well.
Yeah, that event was good to me in 2019. It kind of got me my Challenge Tour card, so
The
looking forward to that.
ISPS. Back at Galgorm Castle. That's cool. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll kind of dive a bit into your story of golf so far. Josh and I kind of come into your golfing story at some part, but what happened before then? Like, so you started out, how old were you when you started?
Yeah, I feel like I was late bloomer in golf, really. You know, I was mad into football. I still am, really. And then
Who do you support these days? Because I remember when we first met, you were Arsenal and then you like West Ham.
I just decided that on the day.
Whoever wins.
Yeah. No, I'm a West Ham fan, really. You know what I mean, season ticket and all that. So I guess I have to be.
Yeah. All right. So any trials at West Ham or?
No, not really. I just love playing and stuff, and then kind of got into golf with my dad. He through his job and stuff, doing a bit of work at the local golf club, and the owner was like, "Oh, you can come and play when you like." And my dad was like, "I'm not going to play on my own, so can my son play?" And like me and my dad, like ultra competitive, like
Really?
yeah, like ridiculous. So we like found like this sound ridiculous, but like a pink ball in the bush.
Yeah.
And that become our trophy, still is today. Like, you know what I mean?
Is that right?
Yeah,
That's cool.
He refuses to play for it.
Has he got it?
Yeah,
Have you got it?
last time we ever played for it, he won, and he's never played me again.
That's it.
Yeah,
He's done.
So
He's a smart man, isn't he?
He's getting more and more shots now.
I know.
isn't he?
Yeah.
Surely.
like, I mean, he's up to about 24. I've got no chance of beating him anymore. But I kind of got into that, and then kind of just fell in love with like the self progression side of it. And
So what age were you when you started?
12. Really.
So 12, okay. And then kind of by the age of 16, where were you at then?
Still like just breaking into the county side, like really, I was like really late bloomer. I remember
Handicap, around about that sort of time?
16, I think I was I'm going to guess about 4.
Right, okay.
Like still quite high at that age. Yeah, I just enjoyed that. I said to you earlier, but just self-progression and like I can control how much better I get. I always felt like I was reasonable at football, but you always rely on other people's opinions. Yeah, and then I had like a little breakthrough. I finished third at just our local championship, S exam. And again, my dad's been massively influential in my career. One of his like clients was like, "Oh, I have like a home in the Middle East. Would Todd go out and play these?" Like, I've never heard of it before, but at the time, the MENA Tour. And I was like, "Yeah, I'd love to." So I went and done like 4 events out there and kind of, progressed from there really.
So that would have been around 2017 or 20...
Before that, 15.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago, wasn't it? Yeah. Wow. So that was the start. So so you went out and played the MENA Tour and we met.
Yeah, you were actually in my
played
first,
together, right?
yeah,
Didn't we?
first time I picked it up, absolutely bricking it.
Was it the
Of
creek?
course, yeah.
The creek, yeah.
Creek, yeah.
Wearing your red
Nice.
trousers, or shorts actually.
Red shorts, yeah. They were
Gone
my
to
lucky
Florence.
shorts, those.
You know what I
Gone
mean?
to Florence, yeah, that's right.
I remember like I'm there like absolutely bricking it, hour on the range, 40 degrees, sweating like mad. And I'm playing with Rocco Sanchest and Zane Scotland. So I was like, got good draw here. First time out, like buzzing. And you know what I mean? Like Zane obviously has been playing mini tour, well, the GOAT really. I'm like there practicing away, like grinding, hour in. I'm like, got 15 minutes to go. Still don't see him. 10 minutes to go. Still don't see him. Oh, he's there on the chipping green. I'm like sharing a buggy and I'm like, are we not on a tee? He's like, yeah, I'll be over in a minute. And he's like, yeah, 1 minute to go, rolls up, you know what Zed's like. And yeah, away we go.
Just keeping it simple. To be fair, it's so hot.
I was gonna
you warm
say,
up in no time, don't you?
Probably having a coffee with me.
That's what we used to do, didn't we? Just like, it'd be like 12 minutes to go. It's like, no, it's too hot to go outside.
hot.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Sit in the aircon.
I'll be hot when I walk to the tee.
So, yeah, mad how like your warm up changes when you're out there. It's mad.
You don't want to tire yourself out. You're almost saving yourself trying to be outside. When it's that hot, you're almost trying to go, right, I want to be out. The round's going to take 4 hours and 20 minutes. Thinking I need to be in the heat for 4 hours and 28 minutes. Nothing extra.
A few Bacardi sweats, isn't it?
Bacardi sweats, yeah. I mean, as a drink, like it obviously was really good in that condition, but it just sounds terrible, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, shocking.
As if you're drinking someone's sweat.
It literally it didn't. It's a night. It's hard to say. It kind of tasted it a little
Bacardi
bit,
sweat.
but it was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was your kind of first season, and you had some success in the first season. Did you make some cuts? And how did that feel? You know, you're there as an amateur, as a 17-year-old.
What would I have been then? Yeah, what's it? 15? 7 years ago now? Cool. I'm now testing my maths.
Yeah, so you're about 17, 18, weren't you?
Yeah, something like that.
So you've gone out there as an amateur to play against some pros. Admittedly, not European Tour, PGA Tour pros, but it is still a step. When you're that sort of age, it is a bit of a different mindset and ethos.
Yeah, a massive change. Like I think that really broadened my eyes to what professional golf was like, and I think that was when I look back at that was probably one of the massive things in my career so far that I look back on. Like that really changed my attitude.
You change your outlook with it a little bit.
Yeah, massively. Yeah, I looked at how I did it and how some players that that I thought I looked up to at that time, and how they did it, and their attitude on the golf course, off the golf course, and that really, like, I guess, guided me, like self-guided me for definitely the next few years.
Yeah, it is slightly different because I know in amateur golf you are quite bound by like who's getting picked for what team, and your confidence is a little bit judged off of what someone else says, the status that you are. Whereas then when you're in professional golf, really no one cares. Everyone's just walking around with their blinkers on, so bothered about themselves they don't even know what's going on around the corner. Yeah,
that's how I looked at it. And then obviously, like when I was like, I kind of was right on the outskirts of my county squad for a long time, and even like when I was 14, they kind of said, no, you're not progressing how we want you to and stuff. So they like dropped me into like the second team, and like that kind of actually, I feel like I got my steely character from my dad, and it was like, well, I am good enough. And
so that was a good thing, really.
Yeah, massive. I still reach out, and my dad reminds me daily, pretty much about it. Like, remember those times, because when you're at home,
the old man now, he's going, you're not good enough, mate. You're in the second team.
So how did you take that? Was that a bit of a fuck you? So I'm going to like carry on. Like I'm going to like knuckle down more and go from there. Or
yeah, I remember I stood it clear as day now. Like I'm stood in my kitchen.
It's a big deal at the time. You're probably gutted.
Yeah, I was crying my eyes out, mate. Absolutely devastated. And my dad was like, you got two choices here, son. You either do something else or you face the music. And like I felt like I've been brought up with that steely attitude. I was like, no, I'm going to, fuck you. Like, I'm going to definitely face the music. And that definitely pushed me on internally. And then I kind of, going back to like the MENA tour, I felt like when I was turned up, I was like, I got good guidance, but I was like, I can definitely beat these people. My handicap wasn't great. I think at 17 I was about scratch, something like that. And I was like, there's a lot of things out there that people I think I could do better. And that definitely gave me some inner confidence to definitely push on.
And I think that's such a big key. Like we notice at coaching and stuff, and having played and gone through different environments, and you're seeing it now. Like there's all the different, like there's the amount of balls you can hit and so forth, but there's nothing quite like being in tournament and being able to look around and kind of observe and be aware of where you are, what you have got and what you haven't got, and then be able to then have the presence of mind to go like, right, I'm going to go and add that bit in, or actually that bit I'm actually much better than I thought I was at that bit, and that helps you grow that confidence, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. A bit of self-assessment.
Yeah, like that bit of awareness.
Yeah.
And I think that like you said there, out of a bad situation, It's how like you respond. You kind of reflected on it, and then you've responded by going, right, this is a problem that I can solve here.
Yeah.
And you've obviously, you got your dad around you. He's quite a steely character, isn't he?
Yeah.
To say the least, which is a great thing, isn't it? It could, give you a little push, but then also on top of that, you've gone, okay, I can get on board with that, and I can go, sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely, and that then like pushed me on to do some definitely better things. And I felt like through definitely my younger years, I feel like it's the strength of my like really observant on like other people. Like I quite enjoy watching other people and like reflecting on why they do it, how they do it, and just not even ask like, and people like take the mick out of me, but like asking loads of questions. But like Michael Campbell always said to me, you can never ask enough.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing you've asked me. I would say even Zane and myself, like you've asked me so many questions. Like I remember even when we would do practice sessions together or something like that. Even if you thought I was doing it wrong, like why are you doing that? And then you would have like your opinion. You would never be scared to put your opinion across.
Not like Todd to have an opinion or something, is it?
No, exactly. Yeah.
I think I could argue it myself.
It was good because it makes you sort of like question yourself and then go through it, and then you're like, yeah, okay. And then you ask yourself, okay, I could do this differently, or I could do this better, and it was good.
Yeah, I always think like
it's an honesty, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that I've always been really honest with myself. And I think that's something that has been, again, a nice thing that's pushed me on. Like if you're brutally honest with yourself, you know where you are. Mm-hmm. And I think going through playing, kind of all tiers of golf at the moment, I think there's a lot of people out there that aren't brutally honest.
Yeah.
There's
heads in the crowds a little bit.
Yeah, there's too many like excuses out there in terms of why you can't do something. Like I've always been told in my life, you can do something.
Yeah.
There's no such word as can't. Like how bad do you want it?
Golf is a great game for excuses, isn't it? So many variables.
Yeah. Especially
it's the wind.
Especially professional golfers.
It's the lie.
Moaning and excuses are everywhere.
There's so many excuses you can use.
But like all comes down to you at the end, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, which is kind of what you said, like, that's what I like to play golf. But it's like you said why you like to play golf. You didn't have teammates, no one else to like blame. So it's kind of all down to you, good or bad. At the end of the day, it's all on you, isn't it?
Yeah. And we have these conversations daily. Oh, it's unfair. Life's unfair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We all don't start on the same page.
Yeah, that's right.
So like, why use that one as an excuse?
So you did the first year on the Minotaur, then went back out, then come home, played a bit of amateur golf during the year.
Yeah, so like after that, I actually, after taking on that like mindset, that pushed me on, and I kind of broke through into like the county team, kind of definitely I played a few like lower end of like national events, and then just kept progressing. I started to play golf full time.
And this probably took you up to the time when I think we played at Wisley, and you earned your nickname Toppy.
Yeah,
you guys might want to discuss that.
Yeah. There's
more to this, right?
It was. We was playing a match, right? Was it a proper match? And we was on the church, second hole, par 5, round to the right,
over water,
going for
tailor-made R1 rescue.
Nice.
Stone cold top.
Straight in the drink.
But further to that, I actually played with Josh in where was it? Els Club. Me, you, and Scratchy.
Oh yeah.
And Stuart Archibald, who by the way, he just got his amateur status back.
He's been winning, hasn't he?
He's cleaning up. He played 3 events. He's won 2. I think he's won like the over 35 to over 21, over 25 English amateur.
He was some player
recently.
back then.
And what's the one? The one they just had at St George's Hill. He just won that one as well.
Yeah, I don't know the name of it, but I did see it.
Played in, yeah.
Silver trophy.
Silver trophy. Yeah, he's turning it on. Where he's taking candy from baby. He's a good player, isn't he?
Yeah, class. But I remember we're out there playing, and we're on like 16 of the L's, and I think Stu's come out with one of his classic comments, and we went with it with me and Josh are just cracking up, and we get down on the 18, and we've nicknamed him Scratchy all day, and we get down on 18, and Josh takes his hat off. Unfortunately, he has no hair, and he had the old Stuart Sink. So it was the Scratchy and Sinky show.
There we go.
So yeah,
you're never getting away with that one with Todd around here.
No, never.
Sinky still to the day.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got through the Scratchy and Sinky saga. You got Toppy. Everyone's got their nicknames now, haven't they? And from that point, I think probably at the Earls Club, we chatted a little bit, and I was like looking at my swing on camera, and you said, "Can you have a look at this?"
Yeah, I remember at the Earls Club, we were. I had a coach at the time. Yeah, he was good for me. He made my confidence great. But I had a few really errant shots in there, and I just never understood why. I never had any clarity on why. And I remember being on the top range at the Earls, and you were like, "You got a nice swing," and I was like, "Go on then." There's got to be a second catchphrase to that. And he's like, no, it's nice. So I think you videoed a few. And I was like, go on, then tell me. He's like, no, you're playing well, so why would I tell you? Mm-hmm. Which I think as a coach, I think that's a brilliant thing. I think you see so many players playing well and then trying to reinvent the wheel.
I think you were there, weren't you?
Yeah.
You were there. And I remember putting it on camera. I was like, looks good that. Let's film a couple. And then obviously we were there looking at it. And obviously I think the first thing that stood out was just naturally you have a very, very stable club face pre-impact, impact and post-impact, which is a very desirable thing to have as a good player. And I was saying to you, God, look at that.
Seriously good.
Is this kid, is he all right?
We played together that week, did we?
Yeah, that's how it all started. Yeah. Clipped a few afterwards. And then, it was actually the Minotaur finals, I think, Muscat Hills.
Muscat Hills, yeah.
Remember that when you had 9 birdie chances on the back 9?
Did I?
Do you not remember?
I do remember hitting it quite close, quite a bit on the back.
Shoot 7 under the back 9 to win the Order Merit.
That's right. Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, didn't make all 9 of them, but gave it a good go.
Okay. Before that, I was like, I think you went home to see your family and stuff, and then I said, can you have a look? Because there was a few shots in there that were just horrific, like big block slices, and I felt like if I kind of cured that, it was more off the tee, definitely longer clubs. If I cured that, I could definitely do better. And I sent over a few swings and
And then you kind of obviously took it on from there because obviously the following season, you obviously got into the England squad.
No. So that was
after?
I mean, there's a bit of politics, but my world ranking was getting good because I was playing in pro events and stuff, and I could definitely.
Sorry, you went to the Spanish Am. Did you go for your own back?
Yeah, I just went off my own back.
Yeah, that's right.
Fortunately, I had help outside of that, so I could do that. I remember I said to you, would you help me, coach me and stuff? And I think that gave me you gave me clarity in my golf swing and what could do better. And I think as an ex-player, well, you still play really, but in terms of you could give me a feel that I could play on the golf course with. Yeah,
a bit of understanding.
Yeah, and that really changed my game massively.
I remember sitting in, remember when I was living at Woodcote and obviously we were going to start, doing a bit of work together, and obviously Dad wanted to come up and meet me because he was obviously funding it, putting in the money at the time, that sort of stuff. And we were sat there and he's proper on it, and he's got to scope everything out, and he's going to me, look, do you think he's got something? Is it worth putting in? And I thought, I can't lie to this guy. I need to, he needs to tell him. And I was comfortable saying there's something there. I don't know exactly what it is, but you can just tell. You can look at some people and think, there's something a bit different to the next person, and it's a culmination of things, like technique and attitude and everything. But there was obviously still scope to get better. But I think, you're able to take on information really well, and happy to listen and then decide whether you think it's any good or not.
Yeah.
You don't just take information and be like a scattergun and give everything a try. You'll go okay, I'm going to process that. Ask, if there's one thing you want to find out, you'll ask 15 questions. And then you'll decide, okay, that's a yes or a no, and move in or out of that.
Yeah, I think that goes back to looking back at on the Minotaur. I think I kind of definitely observe people I need to make my takeaway better. Yeah, but why? Why?
Yeah. It's funny when you look at some people they're working on something, what is that actually doing?
Yeah.
How's that actually changing your ball flight or your game?
Yeah, because
other than making it look nice for Insta.
Yeah, I think the basics are there, but you're trying to work on your takeaway, but your setup's all over the place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So start at the ground and work up. But I definitely felt like that. I asked sometimes too many questions, probably getting people's nerves, to be honest. But I felt
it works out all right.
Yeah, and then
you had that because you had a pretty solid amateur season. Then you obviously went to the Berkshire.
Yes,
Josh had a bit of success at the Berkshire, won the Berkshire Trophy.
Yeah.
And then you went to the Berkshire for the English Am, and you were kind of on, out on the periphery of the England squads and so forth. And you obviously just stormed through that week and bashed everyone up basically, and then won your first kind of major trophy.
Yeah, I felt like
English amateur.
I'd actually had some good progression through the year. I finished 7th at the Living Trophy. I remember I think I made the cut of the Portuguese Amateur. Trying to just, I'd had some really nice results. And then I'll never forget it. Like my dad, a steely character, never wants me to get ahead of myself. I'm walking out the door.
I feel like everyone's getting a picture of your old man.
Yeah. He's 5'8". I'm joking. And he's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. You're not going to win this one, mate." And I'm like, "What? I might as well not go." He's like, "No, go and enjoy yourself, but yeah, don't get ahead of yourself." And I was thinking, nah, do one, mate. I'm going to try and win it. I'm playing well. I was ninth, I think it's third in the stroke play. Played lovely, really. Didn't really miss a shot for 2 days. And then
So 2 round stroke play. What do you remember your shot?
5 under, 4 under.
Nice.
5 under blue, 4 under on the red.
Nice.
So it was nice. And then
Is it top 64 or top 32?
Off the top of my head, I think it's 64.
I think it's higher, the English, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
64. And then I didn't have to play. I got, because I finished third, I didn't have to play the preliminary round. So it goes to 32, I think. And then, just kind of, my psychologist's been there a long time in part of my career life, my background story, but my parents got divorced and he definitely helped me through that. And then, he's still with me today, but kind of just guided me through that week. Was like, well, it's one match at a time, break that down. It's one hole at a time. It's one shot at a time. Like, you can't think of like the next round. I learned that process there and I kind of just stuck with it. And yeah, it kind of got me through the first few rounds. And then I remember semi-final, we had a rain delay. Like, you count your lucky stars sometimes. And I was playing Nick Poppleton. I lose the first to a birdie, played a second, we half and 1 down. Gets on the third tee, pulls his driver out. 15. He's got one of those DST clubs.
Yeah, with a bent shaft, the training club.
Yeah, but training club. So it's like, have I got 15 clubs, haven't I? And like the England golf actually got it wrong. How's that doing? You know what I mean? National, they I should have gone 2 up, but they only put me 1 up because I did.
I remember that because it's loss of hole.
It's
Isn't
just
it?
lost the hole instantly. Yeah,
It's not like give a shot back.
Yeah.
So they gave you a half at the first.
Yeah.
Instead of actually just loss of hole.
Loss of hole. Yeah. And then I mean, it was a big fiasco, and understandably, he's obviously devastated. And I think I went like 5 up on the front 9, and only managed to win 1 up. So
He called it back.
yeah, he did. He really put the pressure on and got into the final, and just kind of played. I played well for 36 holes and managed to get it over the line.
So I remember I was like walking along in that final, and obviously you had a really good week to that point, and they were obviously, I think after that they chose up the home international team or something like that, and the captain at the time, who I knew from my days
Kevin Tucker,
long time ago, where this actually Nigel Edwards. I remember he said to me, he said, Todd, he's been doing all right this year. Like, kind of got our eye on him. He's been doing okay. And I thought to myself, doing all right. He's been beating your lads all year. Like, he should be in this team. And then obviously, I think he said, if he goes well here, we'll have him in. I was thinking, he's done well already.
Yeah,
and then obviously he went on and won it. And then that was, but that's the best way, isn't it? To put yourself in a position where there's no choice. They can't not pick you for something. Like, you pick yourself, basically.
Again, it went back to like what I believed.
You put the trophy in front of you and that's it.
It went back to what I believe in golf. Like, no one argues that Tiger Woods probably isn't the best golfer to be in my era. Like, he's got the most trophies. He's got the best stats behind him. Like, that's a fact. And I think, like, again, if you win trophies, you do the right thing and you progress. No one can't stop you. And I love that.
It's a bit like when you go up through the tours, some of the events you get into, you require like invites and so forth. And there can be a bit of back and forth, like, oh, why has that person got an invite? Or I should have got in this event or not got in this event. But I think, like, we all know the criteria to make sure you're in the tournament. Like a wild card or that sort of invite is a wild card.
Yeah.
Like, no one owns those. Like, well, the owners of the tournament own
promoter's discretion.
Yeah.
He can invite his 4 sons if he wants to.
Exactly. You knew that you needed to have had your card or a category from last year.
Yeah.
You can't really moan about it. Whereas, if you stay away from the attitude and just go, you know what, I'm just going to keep playing golf, you end up in a pretty good place.
Yeah, like, obviously you introduced me to Selzy, and like, it still sticks in my mind. Just get your stroke average better. That take care of itself.
Simple, isn't it? So simple.
The simplest formula. And it still lives with me today. I still have that as relevance in my life now. Like, I think it's about just over 70 on Challenge Tour. Like, you get that to 69 and you'll be close to be the best player in the world. There's no denying that.
So there's a few, like, you're having success through amateur golf, and then you've had, and then you went back to the Mina Tour and there was always an amateur prize each week, and I think you went back to the tour then and probably won 6. Was it 6 on the bounce?
Yeah, we
or
played
5
two.
on the
We
bounce?
played 2 in Morocco, and I didn't win those amateur ones, and then I won every one in a row.
And then you just won all the way in, didn't you? Right through to the tour championships, and obviously bounded up the amateur world rankings, and earned yourself an invite into the Dubai Desert Classic. That seemed like a pretty good experience, going to your first event.
Yeah, I loved it.
Making the cut and kind of being there for the week, and it's a fun tournament as well, isn't it?
Fantastic. I mean, what David Spencer's done for the mini tour, I think, has been incredible. Through other people's opinions, that's fine, but I think what he's done to promote golf, and Mohammed Berman did to promote golf in the Middle East, was fantastic. And
to give those opportunities,
those opportunities are, they don't come very easily.
It shapes a bit of where you are
Massively.
from that point, because then at that point you've made the cut and you're thinking, well, I'm an amateur and I'm making a cut in a good field. It's a good field in Dubai. So that's another like notch, isn't it? Like I've got that bit.
Yeah, the Mina Tour was massively influential in my life. I met, Darren Clark. He definitely had an impact on my life. And I actually played the first 2 days with Darren.
Sinky.
Yeah,
not this Stuart Sink.
Yeah. I met some really good people, and I remember playing the 2 rounds with Henrik Stewart and Darren, and I played great. Finished 5 under. Early
in the classic.
In the classic, early
Clark,
Friday. Yeah. And he come and said to me, he's like, mate, the way you played those last 4 holes was impressive. I could see you, obviously could start to notice that the cut line's there and stuff. And
because it's a big deal when you get near the cut line,
Yeah,
especially when you've never played in a European tour event before and everyone's there watching you. And it's a tough court. It's a proper finish on that side.
Yeah.
Because you start on 10. And there's some big shots like 8 and 9.
Yeah,
Well,
it's like
actually,
6.
6, 8 and 9, they're tough holes.
yeah.
And you're near that line. You did play some really good shots on the way in.
Yeah, I remember hitting 2 and looked some fond memories on 8, definitely.
Tee shot on 8 and 9, but
Yeah.
they were the business, weren't they?
Yeah, and
Number 8 is the iconic, for anyone listening, the iconic Dubai hole with the
backdrop.
raised tee and the backdrop of the city behind. And it's a really awkward fairway because it sits across you.
Yeah.
And if you get the line slightly wrong, you either, because it sits left to right, you either gun it straight through the fairway if you go a little bit too far left, and then you're in thick rough, which then the second shot's up the hill and the rough's really thick and you can't really get on the green.
It's
Or
hard.
if you go right and don't make the carry,
It's hard to
in
cut.
the sand.
It's hard to cut that corner.
you don't
as well
know,
with
you
the
don't
car.
overcut it, do you?
Nah.
I always find holes like that the hardest. I don't know about you, but
Sit
I
across.
always think because your fairway's not 25 yards wide, it's like 10.
Yeah, because it's sitting across you, diagonal. Yeah, because you have to get the right shape, and then if you're going to fade it, you don't want to overfade it.
No,
because you're in the desert.
Yeah.
You're
And so
smoking
and then
cigars.
he said that to me in the scoring record. He was like, mate, play with some freedom over the weekend and stuff. And I remember vividly Westy missed a cut 4 under, some big names, and I was like I felt then like I want to be at this level. I don't feel like I was out of touch with that. Like obviously there were definitely some better players and still are, but I felt like I was in touch with definitely tournaments like that.
So that kind of took you through. You played a bit of the amateur season just after that, and then decided to turn professional.
Yeah,
not long after that.
I played 2018, 6 months after that. I won the Nations Cup in Sota Grande, and then I had a bit of a dip in form, and I decided to turn pro September, and had a bit of a slow start. I'm not going to pretend I didn't. Missed 2 cuts on Challenge Tour, and then I made my first pro check in South Africa. Yeah,
Nice.
That was like £354.
Don't matter though, does it?
No, I
It
still
really
remember, like,
don't.
it was like surreal feeling me. I was thinking, like, I'm getting paid to do what I love. This is
This
incredible.
is it. Yeah. Is there a reason there are names on my bag?
Yeah.
And we're actually also skirting over the fact that you got your Sunshine Tour card as an amateur
Yeah.
during that season before you turned professional. So that was a nice little notch as well to have that in there.
Yeah, and I think like you look back at times like that where I definitely went to that thinking with like, no, I remember Ali Miller was like in there to try and sign me as an agent, and he was like, "You got nothing to lose, so go there." He sorted me out a room at the Sun at Maslow, lovely it was, and you go there. So I was like free, and you can definitely see playing free golf how much difference it makes to people there trying to keep their card, and the atmosphere was like a bit edgy, and I was thinking, why? Like just playing golf here.
Yeah.
I didn't have a care because it didn't matter if I won or lost.
Yeah.
And I remember like I was flying like 16 under for 3 days.
And you got injured, did you not?
Yeah, final rounds. Yeah, I barely could move, so I finished second in the end. So, but yeah,
So you still got it done. So you turned pro, and then in the following season, you would have played your first Euro Pro Was it the following
Yeah,
season at Brocket
another
Hall?
like mad story. Really, like I had to go first stage of Q school.
That's right. Yeah,
It
was terrible weather, wasn't
yeah,
it?
Yeah, terrible. And I had the same like issues when I played Sunshine Tour. Like I'd put a joint at T6, kind of like blocks up, still get occasionally today. And I was like, I remember just banging ibuprofen in like there was no tomorrow. And I got in.
It was really cold, wasn't it? It was like
chucking it
sleet
down,
and rain, and it was freezing cold because it's a terrible time of year. It's like March.
I think I shot.
Golf course is moody, isn't it, at that time? Like condition
Grove,
wise.
do you remember it?
Moody.
Condition
It
wise.
was so moody.
And then you got through in the playoff, did you
Yeah,
not?
last man in.
First day is Europro, last man in.
Yeah, last man in.
Went to finals at
Finished
Thrillford,
sixth, something like that.
cruised it through.
Yeah. And then
Onto Brocket Hall, first event of the year.
Yeah, so like, I played there like a week before with Max Coleman, owner of MGP, friend of ours.
That's Gold Pro team, yeah.
Jamie Richards, I can't remember. There was a couple others, and I shot 10 under, and I was like, this place is unreal. And then
I like it.
yeah, and then like, what was it? 10 days later, I managed to get the win.
So that was nice. And then you're off to a flyer now. So that's a nice thing to go to that level, because I guess you'd played above that level. You played European Tour on invites, and you'd had Challenge Tour, and you kind of operate at that level, and then to drop down at Europro level, and then to just win. That must be a nice feeling to go, right, I'm betting these guys. Like, I've got this bit down. I know it's still not saying it's easy, but you know where your standards are, and it probably sits just a bit above that.
Yeah, definitely. That massively helped my confidence, huge. But I looked at I was fortunate enough to get 7 invites on Challenge Tour for the first year, and I looked at Europros like that's going to be my filling gaps. So again, I turned up there thinking like, I'm here to win. Obviously, like I can't stand losing. Probably like a horrendous loser. But I turned up thinking like, I'm just preparing for Switzerland in 2 weeks' time. Like, let's see where your game's at.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was good that week.
So it's sometimes a good mindset to have, like when you play and you think, I'm playing golf this week, but it's part of like the bigger picture.
Yeah, I always look at golf as a bigger picture because like
it can be stressful week to week, can't it?
Yeah, massively. But I always think if you don't look at it as a bigger picture, I think the game will beat you up.
Mm-hmm.
Just that whatever happens that week is part of the journey to get to the end goal where you want to get to.
Yeah, I think so. That's
Whatever
what I looked at, because if the day you don't look at it as a bigger picture, are you getting better?
Yeah.
That's every time I look at it, I'm like, if this is not me to get to my end journey, because who knows how good you're going to be.
Yeah, you know what I always found really interesting is like having the mindset of going like, almost writing out, right, at the end of this year, say, like it's already written, I'm going to win 4 tournaments, and I'm going to have whether you did stroke average, these are going to be my stats, and I'm going to earn this much money, have this much success. And then, so that's that done, like write those down, and then just go play. And say if you do, you might win your first event, or you might miss the cut. But say if you miss the cut, all of a sudden it's not as stressful, because you think to yourself, oh, that's weird, because it's already written that I'm going to win 4 events. It's just funny how this is going to play out.
Yeah,
and it's that.
I believe that. I think destiny's
to pull you towards it. Yeah,
I think destiny's written ahead of you.
How would you act if it was a given that you're going to win those events? How would you act in the different situations? You would respond so differently. But if you're not, if you're looking short term, and you're not working in the bigger picture, it's
panic.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, because that's how I look at it, as a bigger picture, because you then can actually reflect with like some like positivity.
Mm-hmm.
Especially over the last few years, I've definitely worked on a positive fight psychology, like look about life.
Yeah,
and that's definitely helped. But if you look at it on week to week, I always think like, well, my putting's not bad, I need to work on that. Oh, my short game wasn't good enough. Like, okay, yeah, fine. Definitely your stats won't lie, but where's your process to just making that 1% better every week?
Mm-hmm.
Because in 50 weeks, you're 50% better. Like in 1 year. So that goes from like being, I don't know, losing a stroke to gaining a stroke.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's just how I look at it.
Yeah, well, it's interesting you say that, actually. I was chatting to one of the lads today, and they're saying that, and obviously, you come up in conversation because, people that you've been around, like saying bye for, follow, Sam, and he plays on the Clubs Pro Tour, and he's improving. He's not taking quite the incline you have, but started from a bit further back, and he's improved like each year. And then we were talking about your golf, and that has been a trend for you. Is like each year, like you've gotten better.
Yeah,
and to be fair, it's actually also shown in rankings where you've played. Because sometimes it doesn't. as you get closer to the top, that might not show quite as easily. But that is, and as you say, you've explained there, that's quite a conscious thing of like, I'm going to try and just get a bit better all the time. And there's a process to it. It's not trying to become 50% better in a month.
Yeah, and that went back to me being 14 years old. My dad, when that time happened and I got rejected, he's like, all you've got to do, son, is just keep getting better. Mm-hmm. Like, if you've got a dream and you keep getting better, I'm here with you the whole ride. And I was like, yeah, I can do that. I go from, if I was a 9 handicap at the time, like 14, if I get 8.5, great, I'm getting better.
Yeah.
And I still look at that as that mindset today. Mm. I think like if Tiger never stood there and thought I can't get any better, he has to have I don't know him.
Have a goal, yeah.
He must have had an outlook like, but he was that good at some point.
Because he said that was in, I don't know if have you ever read the Hank Haney book?
No, I haven't, no.
He said that, so it was interesting because obviously he was really good when he under Butch Hartman, but it had gotten to a point where he felt like he'd like topped out. There wasn't any more to give him, and Butch was a bit that way. Which, in all fairness, he was the business. He'd win the US Open by 15 shots.
Yeah.
But Tiger couldn't accept that, and so Haney went out. Actually, he said when he would work with him, even when he thought he's completely got this, he would never tell him like he's got this. He'd always go, yeah, nearly. He'd always say nearly, even though he inside it, if he was saying, if I was being honest, I'd be like, can't see he can be any better than what he's doing right now. But he needed that psyche, and he needs to hear that because you've been someone who's like been was there a team around you of like coaches and like so you chatted about salesy, doing the stats. It was kind of a long-winded process, but the information you got back from that, you were able to then work out to the minute details and need to hit it closer with certain with your 8 iron, say, then not needs to be 2 feet closer, or your short game needs improvement. And then you've had short game coaches or coach like with James Pritchard, taking a bit of a focus on that, and then you like putting coaching, swing coaching, and you chat about having a psychologist. It's all part of it. Like to put it up to now, like what's been happening over the last kind of this year really? This led you to this point. Like Liam James helps you with your golf swing.
Yeah.
So like, and then has there been much changes there? Like what's the main things this year? What's happened, or is it just you feel like it's a progression of all the pieces?
A big progression of all the pieces. I don't think I would, if I look back a year ago, what's got a lot better. I'd be like, well, I'd do this bit better. I'd do that a little bit better. And I think the biggest thing, if I look back at it, is it was only a year ago I took 4 weeks out because I was like struggling a bit mentally. Mm-hmm. I was like, I was putting the work in, not quite getting it out, and I'd lost my way as such. And my like psychologist's been there for like 10 years now. It's like mad. I can't believe it. And, we did like we did a week's camp up in Norfolk and stuff. And we kind of assessed my game. And he's like, well, let's take no risk. Let's have a no risk strategy because you're in control. Bring control back to you. And then I was like, well, okay, yeah. So we played, I remember Royal Norfolk, Cromer, and like no risk. So there's a bunker at 200, you lay up. And then I was like, okay. So we did that. And that then, I played a bit more freely because I was like, well, I can't hit bad shots. Mm-hmm. And then I played solid golf. And I would say the biggest switch is my mindset of terms of like looking at everything and being grateful for everything. Mm-hmm. In terms of if you hit a bad shot, be grateful because you're going to learn something. Your next shot could be the best shot you've ever hit. Like I always now try to, even if like, you're driving along the road, someone cuts you up, be grateful for it. Like, you know what I mean? Well, he tested my reactions there.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, that sounds ridiculous, but just like really switching my outlook on life.
Yeah.
Life's unfair. Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. But like, make it the best it can be.
Yeah, I like it.
And I think that definitely like, that was the switch on definitely playing Sunday afternoon. Like, be grateful for what you're doing. You're absolutely crapping yourself.
Yeah.
But like, you're going to learn. Like, take control back. What are the necessities to hit the good shots and what you can control? Well, okay, my setup, my routine, my process, my thoughts. They're the only 4 things you can control on a golf course. Like 1 millimeter on a golf club, 1 bit of dirt can make it between going in the water and not being in the water. Can you control that? Probably not. Mm-hmm. So why worry about it?
So on that point, so your most recent win, so you're leading by plenty on the back 9.
Yeah.
And then I don't know exactly what hole it was, but it's on Twitter on the video.
Yeah.
When you hit like a wedge to the back of the green and this thing just razzes back like 25, 30 feet. all the way back and told, and it must have been spinning back for so long because you've already walked off, like you've walked 20 yards up the hole while it's still razzing back down the green. What was that feeling like when the cheer goes in? Because how many ahead were you at that point? Do you know?
No, I don't. Like,
I reckon you were probably about 4 or 5 ahead, and then all of a sudden that kind of cements it. Really, what was that feeling like when it went in? Because you must know at that point.
Yeah, so
I've got a bit of a lead now.
It was a good number. It was 90, 95 into the wind, and so like
because I had a question from one of the guys said, "Do you reckon he meant to do that?"
So like it sounds ridiculous, but obviously you can't say it's going to go in. But that's exactly what we planned to do.
You were trying to go past
it. Was 95 into the wind, and the green's like it sits on this like 3-foot shelf. This pin, and it was perfect. Like little 54. You want on a slight down slope, and it's like raised. It plays like 6 up from like 90 yards, 89, and I hit it, and I'm like, yeah, be good. And even my caddy Ed, he's like, oh, that's filth. And then I'm like, just carry on walking. And then I'm walking up.
Just imagine that Ed saying that.
Yeah.
That's filth.
And then it like they start clapping. The clap gets a bit louder. And then you hear like the outrageous geezer out there. He's like, go in. And then everyone's just like goes berserk. And I'm like, that's an unbelievable feeling.
Because there must be quite a few people walking around.
Yeah, Ireland golf is incredible.
Yeah, golf in Ireland is just next level.
Best
the
country
support is
golf.
amazing.
Oh, amazing. And there must have been about 500-600 people around this time.
Yeah.
And
no one saw that frozen rope you had all week that you were pulling it and pulling it back to the
the old they didn't realise I dropped a magnet, but and then I only really knew that I was like probably going to win it on when I walked onto the 16th green.
Right,
that's when it all went wrong.
Because we did touch on this on a phone call yesterday, but we do have a bit of a bone to pick with Todd that when he won his on the Euro Pro, last of par 5, and you still won, but you made bogey at the last. And then, in a real like dad, like I'm watching the scores and he smiled head and I'm like, no, it's par 5, I probably made birdie there. And it come through like, how many did you win by? So you still won
6.
by 6. You still won by 6, but you made bogey on the last minute. We need to what's happening here? Like,
gotta get that demon off my back, I think.
Next time you like get in, you got a nice comfortable lead. Can you just go and make birdie, please?
I'll try. But no,
you were trying to do a Scotty Scheffler on the last hole or something.
And I look back at like a perfect example. Like I learned then. Like I hadn't looked at one scoreboard all day, just focusing on what I can control. Like, leaderboards are great. That what I mean. They're for people spectating. They're for excitement. Like I can't control what anyone else does, so why even bother looking? Mm-hmm. And I looked on 16th green. I've got like 30-footer. I'm like, I'm 8 clear. I roll up 2.5 feet, horseshoes, tap it in.
So do you feel like you was nervous because you had nature, or you switched
my mindset
off?
Changed.
Or did you switch off though? You were like, it's done deal.
Or, I switched off, but my mindset changed, and that just shows to me how massive that can be.
Is there a difference? Like, because I think that you would have been nervous all day, but like nervous and focused and on it, and then when you kind of know that you've won, you now like, do you kind of almost snap out the zone a little bit?
Yeah.
So like, now you're nervous, but now you're not in that hardened mindset zone.
If I looked at it, I was like, I just tried to do the necessities on every shot, and there I was like, my mindset switched. Like, well, you only need to make 3 bogeys. Well, I'd only made.
Whereas if someone was one behind you, you wouldn't have done that. I don't.
Yeah, probably not. No, but like that's how it switched. And I'd only made like 4 bogeys that week.
Yeah.
So are you never going to look at a leaderboard ever again?
I don't think so. No,
ever.
I mean, on 18, hopefully. No, I mean, at points.
But I think if you were 1 ahead, I think you would deal with that differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
As well, yeah.
Yeah, like you know what I mean? You just got to still got your job to do.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of led you to the point now. So you now won. You're up to number 4.
Yeah,
currently on the Challenge Tour on the rankings. Is it points or euros that have it? In over 100,000 points or euros?
Points. Like sometimes they don't equate, but mainly it's point per euro per point.
Kind of, it's not done, but essentially you pretty much got some sort of a good ranking category on the DP World Tour next year.
Yep.
Obviously, the next step is not to take the foot off the pedal, because obviously if you finish 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, depending on where you finish on the Challenge Tour, means you get on the list to get into the bigger tournaments next year.
Yep.
So that's probably a goal for the rest of the season.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, to keep doing what you're doing, but that would be a nice addition.
Yeah, obviously, I think finishing top 5, there's some good bonuses to that as well in terms of, the Challenge Tour with the support of DP World, they give you some like financial support for finishing in the top 5.
Yeah.
And
There's
also
work to do still.
Yeah, loads. And it's also like, why not get...
But you have got your card, so that must be quite a nice feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. Over the moon about that. Over the moon about being able to play at that level.
Yeah. So what does the rest of the season look like?
Yeah, just going to keep...
How many more tournaments have you got?
I think it's 10. I'm so bad at stuff like this. Like Natalie, who works at Octon, she's an absolute... I think she's like my mum.
I don't know if anyone heard that train go past, but I reckon that's the train Todd's on to earning
yeah. But she like looks after everything. I mean, she basically texts me on a Monday morning where I'm going. It's dreadful.
Do you kind of like arrive at the airport, and then when the woman says to you, "Where are you going?" You're like, "Not too sure."
Yeah.
Let me check this itinerary Natalie sent me.
Yeah, but literally it's like we share like my calendar.
It is a weird thing of playing Challenge Tour and European Tour and all these different places. I mean, I know exactly how many tournaments I've played, but I could barely tell you the airports I've flown into or the golf courses and golf clubs that I've been at. There's been venues that I've been back to on the main tour and Challenge Tour probably 3 times. If someone said, "Have you played that golf course?" I'd be like, "I don't know the name of it."
I'm exactly the same.
Which is mad, isn't it?
I remember playing with like Sinky, and he's like, "Well, we're playing here." Like, obviously, I'm only new. I'm like, "We're playing here." He's like, "Where's that?"
Yeah.
It's like, "Played last year, mate." Did I?
Yeah, exactly.
Dude,
yeah,
that's
mate,
mad.
honestly, yeah.
You don't know the name. So so a bit more lighthearted. What's the best shot you've ever hit?
That's some question.
Pure top water.
The best shot I've ever hit. Wow, that's some question. Cool. I've got to think about
Let's
that.
come back. Josh, what's your best shot you ever hit?
Oh. Well, first one that springs to mind was I playing England-France at Rochester Cobham, and it was my first England match. 17th hole, drivable par 4, and it come down to me. It was the last match, and I had all my family there, all my friends there. It was a big deal, and the England manager come up to me and said, "Don't do anything stupid. Like, we're sort of all square. We need to win this. Don't do anything stupid." So I pulled out driver and landed it about a foot from the hole, 10-foot pass, and then rolled it in for a 2. So that
stupid
was,
good or stupid bad?
There you go. So that was the first shot that comes to my mind. But that
doesn't sound like you to be aggressive.
Nah, not at all. One shot at a time, mate.
My best shot. My memory's so bad. I wouldn't ever think like I wouldn't say my game's like where it's that's the best shot. You know what I mean? I'm always so impressed with other players' shots.
Back into the hole wasn't the best shot. What's the best shot you've ever seen?
Caddy for me once, didn't you, mate?
I'll tell you what, like your 3-iron out of dirt at the L's on 13 is one of the best shots I've ever seen.
You always say that, yeah.
250 pin.
Yeah.
3-iron. Yeah. Barely carry my driver that far.
Desert, yeah.
It's about 12 feet. It's one of the best. The sound on the strike, honestly.
Par 5?
Yeah.
From the left or right?
Left.
From the left. Up. So it's a bit up.
Bit up the green. Pins back left.
Eyeballed scratchy after that one.
Yeah. I was like, that's one of the best shots I've ever seen.
Mate, you've hit loads of good shots.
Yeah, I've hit loads of good shots, but I wouldn't look back. But do you know, there's probably one that like doesn't really resonate, but I fade it. I remember playing Minotaur final at Isla.
Yep. Jordan, yeah.
And 17, I'm like, I think I'm going well.
Par 5.
5 under for the day. I've hit the
tight tee shot.
Wind's pumping out the right.
Yeah.
Drive it and it leaks. It just stays dry. I've got like a hybrid and I've hit this purest push high draw, ball back, club face open, a little bit hands down, just pure high to about 30 feet. Nice. And I was like, that's one of the purest shots of it. Rolled it in for eagle. I was like, boom.
Nice.
Bogey the last.
Come back down to
got a theme about this.
Yeah. Well, there's something to work on now.
Exactly, yeah.
That's your next improvement for 2023.
Yeah.
Start birding in the last hole.
Yeah, but yeah, I remember that. I remember that being one of my good shots. But yeah, I think I've more probably hitting some good shots under the gun coming down a stretch. Probably.
Yeah, quite satisfying feelings.
Yeah,
and we'd be remiss not to talk a bit about Ed. So Ed's been a playing professional. Been one of your pals for a long time.
Yep.
And then he's kind of agreed to kind of quit his job and you've taken him on full time this year, which is which many players on the way up wouldn't make that sacrifice to make that financial sacrifice and also that commitment mentally to take on someone full time. And I'd imagine that's been quite a help having someone, not just having your mate around, which is obviously quite nice for Challenge Tour because it's not easy.
Yeah,
don't have to necessarily have all the bells and whistles of the other tours. There's no private jets on the Challenge Tour for sure, and 5-star hotels. But also, someone knows your game a little bit and someone you can kind of trust with stuff?
Yeah, I mean, traveling the world or Europe,
because you have been through your caddies as well. He's by far and away your longest standing caddy. It normally lasts about 2.5 weeks for you.
Yeah, about 3. No, at a push. No, it's been like traveling in Europe with one of your mates is one of my best mates. It's absolutely brilliant. I mean, we've had some mad stories.
Are they shareable?
Yeah. Yes, I would say some of them like good comedy gold. Like I'll never even like this year we're like playing in Scotland. He's been doing it a little bit, and we get there. I'm going quite well. I'm like 7th going into. I'm playing on Saturday, 2nd hole par 5, and pull it a bit in the trees, and we've got like it looks not that far, and I'm like, how far is that bunker, Geese? And he's like 258 minus 78, whatever that may be. I think it's 180.
Yeah.
So I'm like, really? It looks quite close. He's like, no, that's 180. So I chip my 7-iron down there. It rolls in the bunker. I'm like, huh? And he's like, oh, Geese, I've gone off the pin. And then we've had some like good crackers like that. So, and then which has been, I mean, you take it lighthearted. Everyone makes mistakes.
All the good work he's done all year, and he pulls out.
but then like he's had some absolute, like, do you know what I mean, in world class calls in terms of like even on Sunday we're playing.
Yeah, what was it like down the stretch there? Was it is he vocal, or does he let you get on with what you want to do, or do you just carry on?
I feel like I go less vocal. Like, it sounds probably weird to you boys, but I go less vocal.
No, it's natural, yeah.
I think I just got to concentrate on my mindset and just keeping it where it needs to be. So then we kind of just discussed the shot we've got, the number we've got, and where we need to leave it. And I felt like it was really good, actually. He kind of just told me, you've got to be right this pin or whichever. And I feel like he was really good. You know what I mean? I'm sure he was nervous as well, but he didn't really show it.
Yeah.
I think that was like really helped.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, him being on my bag has been crucial to definitely some improvement.
Fellow Sinky as well, isn't he?
Yeah, to be fair.
But he's wearing a bucket. He's got away from it, hasn't he?
Yeah. He's tried to make a trend of a bucket. I'm not sure I'll follow with that.
So he's on the bucket hat. So you're on the visor and he's on the bucket.
I feel like
it's quite interesting.
I feel like the visor's got to go because I won with
partnerships.
A hat.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. Quite devastated.
Ada Millen would be gutted.
I know. I've had a lot of people
I've had to ban you on social media anymore.
I know, yeah. But so I think I only started wearing a visor, so I didn't have a haircut like Josh.
Ring around the head.
How can I wear a visor?
No, I'm joking.
All right, Mel. You I thought I was going to say that.
I'll tell you why you think of it. So near at the end of our pods, I know you're like obviously now Mr. like grateful for everything, but we do a head's gone. So have you had any heads gone recently?
Yeah.
Go on then.
I snapped my driver on the 14th tee box in France.
Did you?
Yep.
Have some of that.
What round?
Final day.
Did you have so it's a final day. So last.
Yeah.
That was that at Planuf?
No, it was Le Voudre.
Oh, okay. I
think your driver's grateful for that moment.
Do you know what? Like, but then, madry. But I look back at that, and that changed my mentality because I was getting a bit angry on the course, I was getting frustrated, playing well. And I look back and I was like, my psychologist tells me, he's like, we all have twat moments. Like, it's natural. I look back and I was like, I kind of made a rule for myself. I am never going to get angry on the golf course ever again. I'm 2 tournaments down. To be fair, I haven't got angry.
Yeah.
Like, if that didn't happen, would I still be in the same place? It might be.
Yeah, maybe not.
So and I look at that, and that's the first club I've ever broken.
Is it?
In tournament play, yeah.
Nice.
And then the next hole, 3 wood, par 5, birdie.
All happens for a reason.
Yeah, it all happens for a reason.
Nice. Can you remember what you're going to ask him?
I was going to ask him if he's going to wear the same boxes as he wore last Sunday as well.
But he's still wearing them.
Yeah. Awkward when I say I don't wear them. No, I'm joking.
I actually went commando, so I've got to do that every round now.
But no, it's been some journey. I'm still looking forward to what's ahead.
Brilliant, mate. Really good. Thanks for chatting to us about it, and it's really interesting hearing some of your story. We knew part of a lot of your story, part of it, and then just a bit more about what's been happening recently, and then excited to see how the rest of this year goes, and then beyond. Really, the world's your oyster with all of it.
No, yeah, I'm obviously been delighted to be invited on. I've been listening to the pod for a little while, so it's been good. Thank you.
Anything else you want to chat about?
I just want to know when he's going to come and do a challenge with us, mate.
Yeah. So we need to get you into a little challenge with us.
Come on.
If you want to do it. Well, we got a couple of games. We've got cat and mouse.
Cat and mouse.
Yeah, go on, talk about it. I've seen this. We're going to talk
cat and
about
mouse wouldn't overly work between us, because the cat and mouse is basically where, if your dad plays off 24.
Something like that, yeah.
So he does plus 24.
Makes up as
Basically,
he goes
you
along.
get on the first tee, and let's say you're a +5, +6. So you start at 5 over par, and then he starts at 24 under par on the first tee. And then you just play. So you're the cat, he's the mouse, and you're just trying to catch him the whole way. So we can just go and have a match anyway, because we'll play. We'll play. Although I'm happy to take shots off him now.
Or I'm also happy to have him on our scramble team in a minute.
But the other one is a scramble. So we do a 6-hole scramble, and the goal is to try and shoot 6 under par. And we film it, and there's no do-overs. There's no we can hit a bit of a moody tee shot on the first one. We'll edit that one out. There's none of that. It is all,
every shot counts.
Yeah, it's got to go. But I think what we'll do, we'll evolve it, is you get a partner,
all right,
whoever that might be, and you come and take on Josh and I, and we're doing 9-hole scramble.
And is that pick the best shot?
Yeah, just
2-ball
scramble.
Where are we playing?
We'll play wherever you want to go. We can go. We won't go Brocket, because you keep saying you shoot 10 under par around there.
Yeah, or Wentworth off the yellows.
No, Wentworth off the yellows. We'll Wisley. Come to Wisley.
Yeah, no problem.
Have you got some people in mind? Do you want to make a call now, or are you
Blandy?
You go Blandy. Oh no. Right, end the pod. Cut that out. All right, so we get you and Blandy versus White and I.
Yeah, I reckon he'd be up for that.
Perfect.
Loves to challenge the boy.
All right, cool. Yeah,
decent.
We'll get him some sausage rolls before he goes out. Yeah. Now, tell you what we'll do. We'll take him on a bike ride.
Yes, we will.
We'll take him up Box Hill. He lives right next door, so he's got no excuses.
Yeah.
And we'll do that, and then we'll go play in the afternoon.
Do you know what?
We'll organise the whole day.
He's been really influential recently in my
Yeah, we've
career,
not really chatted about that. He's been helpful, hasn't he?
Yeah, brilliant. Like to pick his brains on why he's been successful, and he kind of just said to me, mate, you got to find your formula. I mean, there's another hour conversation there, but to find your formula to make you the best player, I think it's been crucial.
Yeah,
I think I'm not going to be someone that's going to be a Bryson DeChambeau. I accept that. So I've got to find other ways. Whereas like Blandy,
because he's found his formula.
Yeah, he's taken him a long time, I think. But he says I don't hit it the furthest, but I hit it, get me in the fairway. My long irons get me near the green. But he's realised that I'm going to be a world-class wedge player, a good putter, and a reasonable iron player. You know what I mean? 50th in the world. So
yeah, I mean, he seems like since he joined Wisley, so you get to see how he operates, and he's done the same swing drill since I've pretty much ever known him. He's not one to fuss around. He's happy to do the same thing over and over and over if he thinks it works. And then he bought his GC quad without any club data, so he just had the ball data on it. And I remember he just went out just hitting. And he just does, it seems to just do his numbers over and over and over. And then when you play golf with him, he just seems to hit it pin high over and over and over. It doesn't. There's never like a 5-6 yards short or 5-6 yards past. No. It seems to be like bang on, a bit like yourself. Really.
Yeah, well, he gave me a good game. I mean, I'm happy to share it, but you got 20. You write down 20 yardages random between your wedge number, so between 50 and 135 for me. And
I'm just going to write this down, right? So go on.
20
numbers.
20 random numbers between your wedge numbers. So I go 50 and 135.
So 50.
You get one mulligan.
Yeah.
You got to say you're going to hit this one 87. You hit it 89. You got a 2 difference.
So one mulligan.
Yeah. And you basically got a total of difference to every single shot.
So from away from your target.
From your shot. So say it's 87. You hit 89 too. Yeah. If you hit it 50 and 56, you've got 6.
Right.
And his best is under 30.
Wow.
That's pretty damn good, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, for me at the moment, if I get under 50, I'm quite pleased with that.
So his best is under 30.
He actually did say he was on for 19.
Yeah.
And then his TrackMan, his GC course run out of battery.
Livid.
Yeah. He was on for 19.
Oh no! Lesson learnt there.
Yeah,
charge the quad.
Yeah, so and it's just been.
He's quite slow though, and he probably took ages before he ran out of battery. The machine's
wiped
went
the
now.
script 7 times.
Okay, now Blandy. Oh, I'm done with this.
Yeah, so it's been really good to pick his brains and obviously he's spending more time with better players now.
Yeah.
And and like he played DJ in the World Golf Championships, and like it was interesting that he said like I just see his mindset switch after 5 holes. He was 1 down.
He said that he was all chit chat and nice for the first few holes, and he said he just went into DJ mode.
Just didn't talk.
Yeah,
and it's like really like interesting to see and hear about what the best players in the world do.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good guy, Blaney. One thing that does annoy me though is he's had all this success recently, and obviously he's like to manage a wedge, but he still hasn't bought an S-Works. Every time I see him, he needs to buy an S-Works bike.
You need to, yeah.
We'll get him on the
We're get him out with Wolf CC.
I'm still yet to see his wallet.
Oh, I like it. Well, that was good. That we'll just run over an hour there, so I think that's enough from us. We'll get you back on, and we'll hopefully you'll win again. So we'll talk about your new win. But yeah, really good. Great win recently, mate. We're really pleased for you.
Yeah,
we track all your stuff, and have a good rest of the season. And Whitey, thanks for your time as always, mate.
Thank you, mate. Legend. Cheers, Todd.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks
and
for
then
the
challenge.
And Stacey will get really annoyed if I don't say like, subscribe at Bear Tiger and all the different social handles. So that keeps him happy.
And all the
#Slatey.
#JSNFT. Nice one. Cheers, boys.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.